Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, my precious pack, and welcome back once more to World of Tanks, and it's time for something a little special. So, today's video is actually something very interesting and, in my eyes, pretty cool, because it has a bit of a blunder and then a recovery. It's also the best game that I've had on my account. Previously, I had the Emil game, which was during the Barosk challenge, and it was my top XP earning game on my account. Well, no longer does that stand, as the match you're seeing now is actually the top earning experience match, with a base experience of over 1800. And it starts off pretty quickly because we get into a fight right away with an Oni that trundles into the city. I, however, don't want that because this is actually where I want to fight from. And as you can tell, I'm top tier in a 2-tier spread, tier 7 and tier 8. The blunder doesn't happen until later, but I'm not the only one who makes a blunder, and I'm extremely happy that Oni did not hit me right then and there with a high explosive round. Because had the Oni done so, I'm positive that I would have lost, and this wouldn't have been a match you're seeing now, because of how low my hit points get towards the end. Also, I've never run low in ammo in my Renegade yet. That changed with this match. Also, I feel sorry for this Tiger 1 because I actually farmed them while they're dealing with the... I can't even remember what the heavy tank was, despite the fact I just saw it. The 45 TP, the Polish tank. And all I have to say is that was some pretty easy damage. But it doesn't stop there, because as with any good match, you know something's got to go wrong, and something does go wrong. Because the enemy starts to pull it back, and while I'm doing work over here picking apart this portion of their team, they have 2 tier 8s on the opposite side doing the same thing to my team. More specifically, they have an FV4202 who heads to the little lip around E and F5, just going up into the city right there. And that player gets some serious work done, I'm not going to lie. But 3k up, already 3k damage up within the first 3 minutes of the match, but it doesn't even come close to what it ends with. And right now I'm thinking, I've seen this scenario so many times over the past week of the team just starting to lose control. I just thought, how quickly can I engage and how quickly can I start helping pick apart more dangerous tanks, because I've been wailing on the lower tier tanks this entire time, and I need to seriously start helping out deal with the top tiers. So I throw myself headfirst against the Lurva, but I'm not alone, as there's actually an IS-8, no, an IS-6, and... yeah, an IS-6 and an IS behind me, as well as a medium tank to the right. We still have that, we still have support from an SU-130PM that's on the edge of the city, looking this way, as well as a Scorpion on the outer edge, but that's not going to last long, because as you can see, for every one we take out, they take out one. It's just a very, very glorified mess at the moment with how quickly people are falling. I'm trying to decide what I need to do right then and there. Did I want to advance or did I want to fall back? Well, in this case, I want to fall back because that FV was just... they're doing all kinds of work over there, and I definitely don't want to be outflanked by them. However, that's exactly what winds up happening in just a moment, and as you're going to see, this is where the blunder starts to come into play. First off, I'm running out of AP rounds, and normally when I start to run low on AP rounds, I switch over to HE and I start trying to track people and get them to more or less waste their repair kits and stuff like that to give me an advantage. I didn't do that because I was completely panicked and paying attention to what was going on in front of me and not what was going on completely all around me. And again, a wasted an AP round there, and I should have loaded HE after that, but again, still panicking and remaining as I am. And the blunder just gets worse and worse, and the fact that it works out in the end is a miracle by some stupid degree, but it does work out somehow. Now what happens is the Scorpion comes out, destroys my team's IS-6, and all of a sudden I'm in a 1 versus 3 with the assistance of the 45 TP. I don't want to be in the city, but the 45 TP is going to go down. And it's no longer 1 versus 3, it's 1 versus 1 because the medium tank broke combat. And I have just long enough to deal with this Scorpion G, thankfully. And the Scorpion on my team, the tank destroyer, just gets picked apart. And this is where the second portion of the blunder comes into play and where it just becomes worse and worse. What I should have done in this situation was keep them further back instead of trying to face hug them. But in the case of me face hugging them, what I should have done was immediately backed up and gone for the corners of the tank, or just aimed at the cupola on the top because I can actually do that. Instead, I try to aim for the turret ring over and over again and continuously fail. Meanwhile, I basically lose all of my health to this one tank. Yeah, just like that, all the health is just gone. However, get lucky there and actually land one in the turret ring. Better situation, or the better way to have handled that would have been either load the high explosive and try and break their gun, or just aim for the commander's hatch, because that honestly would have just made sense. But again, I was panicked, and right now adrenaline's pumping through my veins. I'm just thinking, okay, that was a poor shot on my part. Thought they were going to continue going forwards, but they didn't. So yeah. Aside from that, not much else actually happens because the match goes pretty typically, actually. We managed to do the mop-up here really quickly, and gorgeous shot on that one. Now I'm going to do a bit of a spoiler here. The match doesn't end with all of the enemy's locals being picked apart. That artillery remains alive, and I don't want to engage them because I've had enough matches over the past 2 weeks where I got shotgunned by artillery that I just don't want to play that game. So right now I'm thinking, where's the artillery going to be at? Where are they going to be firing from? Well, we know for a fact they're not at the base because they were actually firing into the city. And they can't fire into the city from the locations they were firing at. My guess was they were down towards K1 or somewhere around there, and by the time that they were actually being dealt with, I'm pretty sure that it's safe to say they were running up along the one line heading up north. Meanwhile, Eschi on my team hops in the cap circle. I just want to take a quick peek to make sure, because the last thing I want is to be in the middle of capping and they poke the ridgeline, pull back, and then drop around on one of us and interrupt the cap, but also bring us both to a one-shot, because right now I'm technically a one-shot if they can get a good hit and a decent roll, even without penetrating. And they could theoretically one-shot the SU-130 by getting a direct hit, because it's artillery, high caliber round. It can overmatch the majority of the vehicle with its high explosive rounds, so yeah. But that isn't how it ends. It instead ends with us capturing the base and getting lucky, and the artillery does try to blind fire. Twice, actually. That was the first one. As you're going to see, the second one is actually further away from both of us, and I got extremely lucky that I didn't actually get hit with it, but I was extremely happy because at the end of this match, I managed to complete in this one match Alliance Mission 15 for the Chimera. I've been trying to complete it in my T110E4 and just failing. But that's basically the match. It was an extremely fun one, but that's going to be it for today, everybody. Hope you enjoyed. Happy hunting, be safe out there, and as always, I'll see you later.